Okay, I hope this is centered. Hello everybody, hola Jimena, Rami, Luis. Okay, so welcome, bienvenidos a esta clase de Vinyasa Yoga. Welcome to this Vinyasa class. I decided I would do a mix between Spanish and English, so let's see how it flows. Decidí que iba a ser una mezcla entre inglés y español, entonces vamos a ver cómo nos va. Pero quiero hacer una clase de vinyasa súper básica. Y con básica me refiero a establecer las bases. Fundamental, crear fundación. Porque muchas veces a mí me pasa que entro a una práctica de yoga y se me olvida lo fundamental, que es estructurar desde las bases. So today it's going to be a very foundational class in which we will focus on the basics, literally on the basics of structure. Sometimes it happens to me, and I've heard from many other people, it happens to them as well, that we jump into the mat and we forget about the fundamentals. And so today it's going to be all about fundamentals. And hello to all of you in Zoom and all of you in the live stream. Entonces, como fundamento, los invito a que vengan a su mat si tienen algún tipo de block o un sillón que les ayude a alzar la espalda. Pueden tomarlo. If you have a block or a cushion or something that you can use to lift your back, that would be helpful. And we're going to come into Sukhasana. Venimos a Sukhasana, una postura sentados. Buscando una espalda elongada. Sitting for an elongated back. Allowing the shoulders to come up and back, opening the chest. Podemos llevar los hombros hacia arriba y hacia atrás, abriendo el pecho. Y quiero que empiecen a girar la pelvis hacia adentro. And I want you to bring your tailbone towards your pubic bone and your pubic bone towards your tailbone. The Spanish-English is kind of creating a mix-up in my language. So bringing the tailbone towards the pubic bone and see what that does. This is Mula Bandha, the root lock. So usually when we bring the tailbone towards the pubic bone, there's an elongation that happens in the spine. And check how your breathing is coming into your organism, into your body. And see if you can bring your belly in and up. This in and up creates Uddiyana Bandha, or this mid-lock in the hara. And then bringing your chin towards your chest, as if you were holding a mango in between your chin and your chest. This is Jalandhara Bandha. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Otherwise, you can just gaze softly at a point. And I want you to review these three again. So bringing the tailbone towards your pubic bone, allowing that to raise up your spine. Bringing the belly in and up, creating Uddiyana Bandha. And then holding a ball in between your chin and your chest. Jalandhara Bandha. So we have these three bandhas, three locks that allow our spine to open up and rise. And imagine that I have my hand on top of your head. And if you could really press into my touch, you could grow even taller in this sitting pose. And check in with your breath. Inhaling, opening to the life that is here this morning, showing up to this foundational Vinyasa practice. And with the exhale, releasing and letting go. Inhaling, opening to the life that is here, to the qualities of this morning, to the qualities of your body. And with the exhalation, letting go, relaxing and releasing. Gently, you can open your eyes and see if it's possible to see your space, the space around you with a different quality. Perhaps a recognition of something that you hadn't appreciated before that is here in this space. Just the simplicity of being right now. And becoming ever more so familiar with our surroundings and creating a space of safety wherever we are. You can begin to roll the shoulders up and back so as to open space in the chest. Beginning to lubricate the scapulars. You'll note that I've transitioned only to English. It's more comfortable for me. And then bringing your chin towards your chest. And really gently allowing the back of your neck to receive a stretch. And moving your chin towards the left side. Bringing the chin back onto center. Opposite side. And chin comes back to center. Lifting your gaze on the inhale, raising your arms up towards the sky, reaching with your fingertips and allowing the shoulders to relax. So you're reaching up with your hands and allowing the shoulders to relax. Turn away your palms and move your fingers through the space, opening the fingers, allowing the hands to come down. As the fingertips reach down, you can take another inhale again, raising the arms up towards the sky, reaching with the fingertips. And on the exhalation, opening the palms, running your fingers as if they're running through a sea of honey. Inhale, reaching the palms up towards the sky again. Opening the palms and really reaching through your sides, allowing the fingertips to receive a really good stretch. Opening the meridian channels in your arms, running them through your chest. Hands come down. Final one, reaching up with your hands. And on the next exhalation, you're going to twist towards your right side. So your left hand is going to come towards your right knee, and you're going to bring the right palm towards the back of your mat. You can use your block or your cushion as support to allow the twist to leverage. And really here, what we're looking for is not so much how deep of a twist, but how deep of a breath. And that's where we come into the Vinyasa sequencing of allowing the breath and the movement to coincide and to merge into one. So see how deep can your breath go. Many times we come into twist and we forget to breathe. Many times we come into situations that feel twisting and we forget to breathe. So taking this opportunity to consciously breathe in. breathe out. And with the inhalation, see if you can grow. With the exhalation, twist deeper. On the next in-breath, you can take your arms up towards the sky, reaching with the fingertips. Exhaling, letting that breath go. Inhaling, reaching up with the fingertips, and on the exhalation, twisting towards the opposite side, left side. So right palm will come towards the left knee, using the cushion, the block, or the mat to support that twist. And it's the same principle here. Of course, we want to twist with our spine. Of course, we want to get into our internal organs. But even more importantly, we want to breathe in this difficult or constricting position. And engage our minds in such a way that we recognize that just as in life, we enter positions that feel tight, that feel twisted, that feel contracted, we have the possibility to breathe. Foundational, very basic, and yet so easy to forget. Remembering. Once you've found your breath, you can grow with the inhalation, and with the exhalation, allowing the torso to twist deeper. Remembering the breath. Let that breath be the thread that ties in movements with presence. Inhaling, lifting the arms back up towards the sky, reaching through the fingertips, beautiful. And on the exhalation, running your fingers through a sea of molasses. Really allow it to be dense, rich, full. And bringing both of the palms of your hands towards your knees. Using the palms of your hands as support to begin circling the spine around the midline. And see what feels good with your breath. Usually with the inhale, you can move forward, opening the chest, and with the exhalation, rounding the spine, bringing the chin towards the chest, and opening the chest as you come forward, rounding the spine as you go back. I'm going to let the rest of the participants join on Zoom. So inhaling as you move forward, exhaling, rounding the spine, moving back, chin towards chest. Then you come onto center, stabilize the spine, come into neutral, so no movement. Check in before starting to move on the opposite way. So if you were turning towards the left, you can turn towards the right. If you were turning towards the right, you can move towards the left. See if you remember. On the inhale, using the hands as support to open the chest. Exhale, rounding the spine. And here, really use this opportunity as an exploration of your spine mobility. You can close your eyes if that feels good. More people joining on Zoom, what a blessing. And coming back onto center, inhaling, reaching up with the arms towards the sky, reaching with the fingertips, allowing the shoulders to relax, and on the exhalation, sweeping your hands around. Now interlace your fingers on your back. Right, the fingers to interlace with each other. Pulling the hands away from the spine, open. Find your breath. Find your focus. Releasing that interlace, bringing the hands together to Anjali Mudra. Raising the palms up towards the sky and bring the palms back again. And I want you to interlace your fingers on the opposite way. So you'll remember which hand was interlacing, which way you're interlacing your fingers into the opposite way. So we're creating new pathways by shifting up the way that we do things. Non-habitual ways create new patterns in the way that we relate to ourselves and to life. We start that with our body, because our body is our messenger, our vessel. Opening the chest, inhaling, allowing the palms to come up. And on the exhalation, beautiful, we'll release that down towards the mat. Really simple foundational movements. Check in with how you're sitting in Sukhasana. You can take the flesh out of your sitting bones if you wish. From here, we're going to do a couple of side moves. So to open the rib cage, we can take the left hand down towards the mat, lifting the right arm up towards the sky, opening the chest as if you were receiving sunlight in your heart, and opening with the exhalation. Imagine as though you had a thread or a cord that you could pull up your chest with. So if you had a cord you're pulling up so that the chest can open here. And you can play with that movement. We can do some theatrical scenery here. Opening the chest. So we're both receiving a side stretch on the right side of the body, anchoring with the right knee, but also opening the chest. Release that cord, bring the right hand down. Maybe you feel the prana moving through. And on the inhalation, bringing that arm parallel to the mat so as to deepen that side stretch. Now grab the cord that's coming from the left side and pull so as to open your chest. Beautiful. Same principle here, breathing in deeply. Now bring that right palm towards the floor and walk yourself towards the center. Head is parallel to the mat, so the neck doesn't have any strain. We're arriving to a neutral spine position before we walk our way towards the right side of the mat. Placing the right palm on the mat and lifting up with the left hand, finding that thread, that cord, grabbing it, an imaginary thread that can pull up the chest, opening space here. Find your relationship with each pose. Find your edge of sensation. It may be different from this side to the other. But really, if you anchor here with the left knee, see if that opens more space in your rib cage. Pull with the left hand, up towards the sky. And hold on to that imaginary cord, imaginary thread. Bring that palm down and open sideways. So here's the same principle. If we had a cord that we're grabbing from the right side, opening the chest towards the sky, side stretch. You can look down so as to not to strain your neck, or you can also see if you can look up and check if it's snowing. In this case here in Costa Rica, it's really, really windy. It's like our version of fall. And walking the left hand towards the center of the mat. Letting the chin be neutral, finding that neutral position on the neck. And walking back towards the Sukhasana. You can close your eyes if that feels good for you, or you can also keep your eyes on a gentle gaze. And I just want you to take a couple of seconds, maybe 20 seconds, to check in from where we started to where we are now in terms of presence and embodiment. having opened certain channels in the body, having worked with some meridians in very basic, simple ways, how do we feel in our body right now? Is there a space of tension that is calling our attention? What's the quality of life energy moving through the body right now? What's the quality of presence? Foundational questioning, foundational inhabiting of our bodies. And you can open your eyes, having received your message. We'll continue to move and further practice our embodiment, but it's good to do those foundational check-ins. You can release that block or the cushion if you have one, and we're going to open our legs and stretch our legs towards the long line of the mat, coming into Dandasana or staff pose. You can take the flesh out of your sitting bones so that your tailbone can be really rooted into the mat. And here you can bend your knees a little bit if that helps you raise the spine. Your palms can come beside your thumb, thighs. And again, we'll practice that same foundational pose. As you know, my 4th day's meditation, and so these asana practices are more to set the foundation for meditation. And here we can do the practice of the bandhas again. So you can bring your tailbone towards your pubic bone towards tailbone, and see how that helps you grow. See if you can bring your belly button in and up. That will come at the chin. So imagine as if you had a little ball, and you could hold that ball in between your chin and your chest. Standing tall. See how that helps you elevate. And now release all tension. Sometimes we're going to really buckle up. Release tension, keep the bandhas. Okay, now we're going to bring both of our hands back for to support our upper back, lower back. I want you to start tapping your legs on the mat, tapping your knees on the mat. The movement originates at your hip, although it may feel that it originates at your heels. Just tapping the knees. Tap, 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 tap. Just a very simple movement to release tension. Now I want you to open up your legs and close them. Open up your legs and close them. This movement originates at the hip, but you may also feel it at your feet. So you're tapping the toes together, open and closing, and see how fast you can go. Releasing tension in the legs. Now flex both of your toes, both of your feet, both of your fingertips. Fingers are in your hands. Toes. And point the toes. Flex and point. Flex and point. Flex and point. Then begin to circle both of the ankles. Circling first inward, and then opposite way, outward. Beginning to bring vitality into the legs. So we've worked a lot with the upper body, the chest, to the arms. Now we're moving into the lower body, bringing attention towards our feet. Find Dandasana again, and bring your left foot towards your chest, holding that leg in the chest. You see here, if you can begin to circle that hip. So really, the movement originates again at the hip. The hands are of support. The knee is just of support as well. So you're grabbing with the right hand your left foot on the palm here. Left hand on your left knee. And you'll begin to circle that knee. Really what we're targeting here, it's really nice to see you all on Zoom. Really what we're targeting here is a hip opener. So instead of coming to a full pigeon and potentially harming a hip, we're just opening the hip really gently. And see if you can circle both sides. Now grab behind your knee with both hands, interlacing your fingers. Fingers. Forgotten names. Thumbs. Your thumbs will be interlacing behind your knee, and this will give a lot of mobility to release tension in your knee. So you'll begin to move your legs from side to side. Be gentle at first if this is a new movement. Just releasing tension. The right leg is standing firm as a support. Check in with your back. Nice, long backs. Beautiful. Now, bring your right hand towards your left foot, left hand towards left knee, and bring that knee closer so you can walk the baby here. Almost like a half a pigeon pose. Walking the baby. Side to side. Check in with your back. Right hand towards left foot, left hand, left knee, and begin circling that leg. Right in the needle. Yeah, good. Now, bringing both of your hands, it can be on the lower leg, hamstring, just a nice stretch on the leg. You can point and flex, and letting that leg up. Both of your hands will come back so as to support your full back. And just do a comparison here in life energy between one leg and the other. You can close your eyes if that's helpful. Just check in. How is life energy flowing through the left leg? How is life energy flowing through the right leg? Simple side-to-side comparison. The question, which one feels much more vital? Which side feels much more empowered, much more inhabited by consciousness? You can flex both of your legs, point both of your legs. Flex, point, flex. And then bring your right knee towards your chest. Left hand will come to the right foot, right hand towards the right knee. And just begin exploring motion here. No set pathway, just begin to explore the motion. Maybe opening the leg a little bit, finding how the exercises we did on the left side could be useful. Interlacing the fingers behind the knee, using the thumbs as support to begin to open and release tension here behind the hamstring. Chest is open, back is long. Left hand will come to the right foot, right hand, right knee, and begin circling, opening the hip here, preparing for half pigeon. Moving it to the opposite side. And then bringing that knee close towards, that leg close towards the chest and rocking the baby. I'm just going to check how it's going on the Instagram live. You can keep doing it. Oh, nice. Letting that leg meet the left one, bringing both of your palms as support, pointing and flexing the legs. And as you do that, do the assessment. How now the right side is feeling in comparison to the left, are both feeling inhabited by life energy. Now we're going to bring both of our legs towards the chest. And find Sukhasana again, so find seating pose again. But I want you to come into sitting pose with the opposite leg inside. So when we began, you had one leg in front, one leg in the back, possibly the one that you always sit with. So we're going to find the opposite leg inside and the other leg in front. Does that make sense? Just finding a new Sukhasana stance. Taking the flesh out of your sitting bones. Finding a neutral tall spine again. Checking in with your breath. Checking in with body sensations. Inhaling, taking the arms up towards the sky. Reaching with the fingertips. And on the exhale, allowing the hands to come towards the sides of the body. We're going to do a round of Kapalabhati breaths, or skull polishing breaths. And the Kapalabhati is really, really foundational and simple in asana practice. Kapalabhati is so simple because we only have to focus on the exhalation. So it's a moment in practice when we can totally forget about inhalations and just focus on the exhale, 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 exhale. Kapalabhati has different rhythms, and those rhythms will apply to your own situation. There's times in which Kapalabhati for me is like really, really intense, and other times it's like moment by moment by moment. So you'll find your own rhythm today. But what I want to explain as a foundation is, again, we focus only on the exhalation. So as you exhale, your belly will come in. You exhale through your nose, your mouth is closed. And that's all that we do. And we'll do a round of 40 Kapalabhati breaths. So we can do a trial together, inhaling through the nose. And begin exhaling, 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 allowing the belly to be the pump of that breath. Now I know most of you on Zoom know Kapalabhati, so you probably don't have any questions, but if there's somebody that has a question before we continue, feel free to ask before we jump into the rounds of 40 Kapalabhati breaths. Okay, we're all pros and foundations. So inhaling through the nose. Exhale softly, gently. Inhale about 60% capacity. And begin Kapalabhati with an exhale. That's 20, we have 20 more to go. Exhale, exhale, exhale. 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Inhale. Hold that inhalation in. Bring tailbone towards your pubic bone towards tailbone. Belly comes in and up. Check in with your chin. And exhale gently. Inhaling, taking the arms up towards the sky. Reaching with the fingertips, relaxing the shoulders, and on the exhalation, we'll come into Asana, table pose. So the wrists will be below the shoulders, the knees will be below the hips. Inhaling, opening the chest towards the sky, gazing up. On the exhale, rounding the spine, bringing the tailbone in, gazing in towards the belly. Inhaling, opening the chest towards the sky. On the exhale, rounding the spine, bringing the tailbone in, chin comes in. Inhaling, opening the chest towards the sky. Allowing the ribcage to fall. On the exhalation, rounding the spine, tailbone comes in. 2 more. Inhaling, opening the chest, gazing forward. On the exhalation, rounding the spine, bringing the tailbone in. Now begin to free up the movement in the spine. So begin exploring that spine mobility. It can be either in circular motion, coming up to child's pose, opening the chest forward, whatever feels good. My teachers, Horace and Janelle, they usually say your spine here is like a spoon, and you're trying to get the remaining peanut butter in the jar with your spine. So your spine is circling around the jar, trying to get all of the peanut butter that's there. You know, like peanut butter, you can be honey. But really allow yourself the freedom of exploration and spine mobility here. And coming back onto neutral, finding that stable table pose. So wrists below shoulders, knees below hips. Inhaling, raising the right arm forward, finding a point to gaze out. And bringing the left leg up. So we're lengthening through the limbs here. As if the hand is reaching forward, the leg is reaching back, standing with the left leg on an imaginary wall, growing 3 inches taller. And bringing the right hand down, the left leg down. Now the left hand goes up. Reaching with that hand as the right leg comes up, lengthening through each limb, standing on an imaginary wall, using that hand to reach forward as the back leg presses back, finding light here. Really nice. Hand comes down, legs comes down, reaching with the right hand forward, lifting the left leg, lengthening through the spine, growing taller. And then look, we'll find a space to look at, a drishti point to keep balance. So a stable foundation so that you can rely on your gaze as a balancing point. And then begin opening with the right arm towards the side, looking for that back leg, bending at the knee, and see if you can grab onto your ankle or your foot, opening the chest. See if you can gaze forward. Release without a slingshot. Lengthen through your limbs. Bring the right hand down, the left foot down. Take 1 deep breath. Exhale, let it go. And on the next inhalation, lifting your right leg up, left hand up, reaching opposite forces, lengthening the body here. Reaching with the hand, lengthening with the foot, standing on an imaginary wall. Finding that balancing point so that you can reach with your hand towards your leg, opening the chest here. Finding your breath. Really nice. Nice, Jimena. Releasing the leg without a slingshot. Lengthening through each limb, bringing the hand down, the leg down. And we're going to sit on our toes so you can just bring the weight back. So we're giving our toes a little stretch. See if that feels good, otherwise you can just sit back. I like to give the toes a little stretch. We can begin circling our hands, circling our wrists, really. And I want you to give yourself the freedom to play here in terms of mobility. If you want to incorporate the elbows, you can do that as well. Just lubricating. Seba mentioned the other day the name of the fluid, but I forget. So just bringing more fluidity into the joints. You can tie in both of your hands and begin circling your wrists. Change the interlock. Circle the wrists again. Like basic asana clinic. Okay, inhale, reaching up towards the sky, opening the hip. And on the exhale, come down. Bring the left hand, the left arm on top of the right one, and interlace both of the hands coming into Garudasana, eagle arms. See what happens if you bring your elbows down towards the mat. And if you push your hands away from your chest. See what that does to your shoulders. Play here. You can lift up if you want to come into the half camel pose. But if you want to begin opening the chest into a camel pose, you can do that as well. Coming down, releasing the hands, reaching up towards the sky. And on the exhale, the left arm will come down, right arm on top, interlacing both of the hands. And playing here with the depth of motion. So see, it's not just coming with the hands interlacing and taking a nice picture, it's really getting that nice sensation in the chest, opening space in the shoulder blades. So explore. What happens if I move my hands away from my body? What happens if I move my elbows down towards the mat? And then can I incorporate here a half camel pose? Can I come down into Svanasana? Where's my breath? Coming down with the hips, releasing the interlace. Placing both hands on the mat. Toes are on the mat, lifting your knees away and bringing your hips towards the sky, coming down into a downward facing dog. Let the neck be loose. The neck is hanging like a mango from a tree. Bend your knees a lot so that your spine can lengthen. Lift your tailbone up towards the sky. And then begin to bend one knee and then the other, lengthening on each leg. Bring both of your ankles down towards, your heels down towards the mat. Head continues to hang loose. On the inhale, bring the weight forward, coming into plank pose. Then at the elbows coming down into chaturanga. Inhaling, facing forward, coming into upward facing dog. And on the exhale, placing the toes on the mat, coming down into downward facing dog. Really nice. So we have one sun salutation here. Taking 2 deep breaths on Marenco-Snyder. On the next inhalation, coming forward into plank pose. Shoulders above wrists. Coming forward, bending at the elbows, coming down into chaturanga. Inhaling upward facing dog. And on the exhale, let the chest come down towards the mat. Move your hips from side to side. And I want you to open both of your palms towards the, on the same line as your chest, so the breast line really. And I want your palms to be open. So really it's the fingertips that are engaged on the mat or on the floor. And inhaling, lengthening the spine, opening the chest, looking forward. This should give more mobility to the back. Actually, if you can look towards the opposite leg, so if you look, raise your chest towards the left side, looking for the right leg, you can do that. Coming down and looking on the right side, seeing if you can see your left leg. And coming down towards the mat again. Placing both of your hands on the chest line, knee next to the body. Inhaling, upward facing dog. On the exhale, bending at the toes, coming down into downward facing dog. Bending both knees. Tailbone pushes back, bringing the heels towards the mat. On the inhalation, raise your right leg towards the sky. Bend at your knee and open your hip. See if that helps you bring the left heel towards the mat. On the next exhalation, the right knee will come towards the chest. So we're really coming into plank pose here. Inhaling, lifting that leg up towards the sky. And on the exhalation, right knee towards right elbow. Inhaling, raising that leg up towards the sky. And on the exhalation, right knee, left elbow. Inhaling, lifting that leg up towards the sky. Lengthening. Open the knee if that feels good. And your hip. You can flip your dog also if that comes naturally. Need this little space, but if you want to do that, you can. And on the next exhalation, bringing that leg in between the hands, coming into Vinyasa or low lunge. Feeling the heat. Placing the leg down. Gazing forward. Graceful runner's lunge here. Inhaling, taking the arms up towards the sky, reaching with the fingertips. And on the exhalation, cactus those arms. So the elbows are bending so that you can open space on your chest. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up towards the sky, opening the chest, cactus those arms on the exhalation. Inhaling, reaching up towards the sky, really reaching, doing that energetic lift up with the hands, and on the exhalation, opening the chest. Cactus arms. Beautiful. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, cactus arms. Place both of your hands on the mat again. We're going to walk backwards, really gently, coming into an Ardha Hanumanasana, perhaps split. Ideally, the back could be straight. No blocks here. Inhaling, walking back onto Vinyasa, runner's lunge. And I want you to feel the energetics of Vinyasa. So really, runner's lunge, what does it imply? Could I actually take off running from this pose? Like if I wanted to run, could I do that? What's the energetics I'm putting into this pose? Let the hips rock. Let the gaze be fierce, graceful, but fierce. Plant your toes back on the mat, lifting up to high lunge, and up towards the sky. Still a lunge, is not a warrior. And see if you can balance all of the weight onto the front foot so that you can meet the right foot forward on the mat, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Great, beautiful. Inhaling, lifting the arms up towards the sky. And on the exhalation, bending at the hip, coming down into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling, coming into half forward fold. And on the exhalation, bending at the hips, letting the head drop like a mango. Ardha Uttanasana with the inhalation. Full Uttanasana with the exhalation. Now bend your knees a lot so that your ribcage can come into contact with the thighs. Let the head drop like a mango. And begin to stack vertebra by vertebra as you lift yourself up towards Tadasana again. Mountain pose. Inhaling, lifting the arms up towards the sky. Bring the tailbone towards the pubic bone towards tailbone. Swan dive down into Uttanasana. Let the head drop. And now walk yourself towards a plank pose, whether that is walking your hands forward or your feet back. On the next inhalation, pushing forward, coming down into Chaturanga. Inhaling, lifting into upward facing dog. Exhaling, coming back, downward facing dog. Now walk your hands back towards your feet, coming down into Uttanasana. Bring your feet towards each other. Bend at your knees. So your rib cage is really in connection with your thighs. Head is hanging loose at the ankle. Bend at your knees a lot. Raise up your hands coming up into Utkatasana, chair pose. Really like Drew, one of our classmates, was saying, it's if you were sitting on a dirty toilet in the subway of New York City. I like the idea of like, as if I'm peeing in the jungle and there's a bunch of crabs, you know, a bunch of examples we can use. Inhaling, coming up into Tadasana. Hands come down. Inhaling, reaching up towards the sky. Swan dive down, coming down into Uttanasana. Now walking your hands forward, coming into plank pose. Inhaling, pushing forward, bending at the elbows, coming down into Chaturanga. Inhaling, lifting the chest upward, facing dog. And on the exhale, placing the toes down, coming back into downward facing dog. Find your stability in this down dog. We will lift our left leg up towards the sky. Open at the hip by opening the knee. On the next exhalation, you will bring that knee towards the center of the chest. Inhaling, lifting that leg up towards the sky again. On the exhalation, left knee will meet left elbow. If you know an arm balance here, you can go for it. Inhaling, coming up. And on the exhalation, left knee will come towards the right elbow. Inhaling up. And on the final exhalation, you can bring that knee in between the hands, coming into Anjaneyasana, runner's pose. Same energetics here. Could you take off running from this pose? Find the strength in stillness. Find the power in grace. Inhaling, lifting your arms up towards the sky, reaching with your fingertips. And on the exhale, opening the chest, bringing the elbows down towards the side of your chest, coming into cactus arms. Inhaling, reaching with your fingertips. And again, let that not just be a concept, like really reach up with your fingertips, allowing the chest to expand. On the exhalation, opening the chest. Final, reaching up with the fingertips, really opening yourself to grace, reaching up towards the sky. On the exhalation, cactus your arms. And bring both of your palms down towards the mat. Walking back into Ardha Hanumanasana. If you can, come down sitting. If full Hanumanasana is in your practice, you can do so. Coming back into Anjaneyasana, runner's pose. Lift that knee up towards the sky, inhaling, both arms go up. And on the exhale, bend at the hips. Place both of your hands on the mat. Bring that left foot back, coming into plank pose. Coming forward, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And on the exhale, downward facing dog. 3 full breaths and downward facing dog. Allowing the heels to come closer towards the mat. Then you slightly at your knees. Tailbone lifts up and back. Head hanging loose like an angle. Fingers are really rooted into the mat. Full 3 breaths. Walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into Uttanasana. Letting the head drop. Stacking vertebra by vertebra, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhaling, reaching up with your hands. And on the exhale, step, swan dive down, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. From forward fold, you can walk yourself back into a plank pose. Let your knees drop, let your hips drop, come down into a child's pose. Let the breath catch up with the movement. See if opening each knee towards each side of the mat feels good to you, so that your full torso, your torso can fully melt down onto the mat. Letting the forehead rest on the mat. Three full breaths here. Very nice. Walking with your hands back towards the chest, coming into hero's pose, seated pose. And we're going to take both of our legs out. Coming again into stack pose, Tadasana, taking the flash out of the sitting pose. And again, finding ourselves in the Tadasana, do a check-in. How is the pranic level now? How is the energetics of the body feeling? How is vitality flowing through your body after a full Vinyasa series? Bend your left foot. Bring that foot in connection with the right thigh. And we're going to begin walking our torso down towards the right foot, coming into Janu Shirshasana, or forward fold here. With the inhalation, we're reaching, elongating the spine. With the exhalation, we're melting down towards the leg. See if you can bend the right leg a little bit, the right knee, and how that influences the mobility of your spine. Inhaling, elongating, exhaling, melting. Fits in your practice, you can grab your right foot with your hands, with your left hand, and reach towards the left knee with the right hand. Coming into a bind. Two breaths here. Releasing the bind. Coming towards the center. Inhaling, elongating the spine. With the exhalation, melting the chest down. And walk both of your hands towards your torso. Release the left foot next to the right one, tap at your knees. Bring your right foot inside your left thigh. Inhaling, elongating the spine, exhaling, beginning to melt down towards the leg. Inhaling, elongating, exhaling, melting down. If it's in your practice, you can reach for a bind, grabbing with the right hand your left foot, with the left hand your right knee, and looking down, looking up to see if it's snowing, if it's windy. Three full breaths here. Beautiful. Releasing that leg. Coming into Dandasana, staff pose. Tapping each knee. Taking the flesh out of your sitting bones. Bending slightly at the knees and walking your hands forward towards your feet, seeing if you can come down gently into a Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Head comes last, really where it's not so much about how forward can we reach, but how much length can we keep in our spine. So as we inhale, we grow taller. On the exhalation, we melt down, the rib cage coming into contact with the thigh. So it's really the same as coming into Uttanasana. Just using the force of gravity in a different way. Gently releasing your hands, walking yourself up towards the Dandasana pose, flexing your feet, bending at your knees, and find your core here. Elevate your back, open the chest, and begin to bring your core inside. So your attention towards the core, rib cage is tight until each rib cage is pushing towards each other. And we'll begin to roll ourselves back on the mat with the power of our core. Bringing traction towards the spine so that we can fully allow the head and the vertebrae to be on the mat. Your knees are still bent. You can walk your feet closer towards your thighs. And here, if bridges on your practice, you can begin to lift up your hips, allowing the chin to come closer towards your chest. You can interlace both of your fingers behind your back, allowing the shoulder blades to come in. Hips push up, coming into a full bridge pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Release the bind in your hands and gently placing your lower back onto the mat, your whole spine towards the mat. Once your tailbone is down on the mat, find that traction, and if you want, you can bring your hips back again, up towards the sky, coming into bridge pose, or if the wheel is in your practice, you can come into a full wheel pose, whatever feels good to you. Every day is a different day. For wheel, you can place both of your hands behind your shoulders, allowing the head to come onto the mat and lifting yourself up towards a full wheel pose. Letting the head be loose, allowing the hips to go up. Full breath. Letting the head come down into the mat when you're ready. And finding your whole spine on the mat. Walking the right foot towards the edge of the right side of the mat, left foot towards the edge of the left side of the mat, and bringing the knees together. So finding a neutral spine here for a couple of breaths. Very nice. Now walk your feet towards each other so that the soles of the feet can be in contact with each other, and open the knees wide, coming into a Supta Baddha Konasana, supine butterfly pose. So your whole vertebra system, your whole spine is on the mat. Your feet are facing each other, the soles of your feet together, and each knee is open towards one side. Bring your right hand towards your belly, your left hand towards your heart, and begin to track your breath. Moving into Divya Pranayama, or full yogic breath. Inhaling through the nose, allowing the chest to receive that breath, allowing the rib cage to expand, receiving that breath down in the diaphragm, and then exhaling from belly, rib cage, chest, out. Inhaling in through the nose, finding that breath in the chest, feeling that breath reach in your belly, and exhale from your belly, rib cage, chest, out. Finding your own Vidya breath, full yogic breath. If this feels like too much on your hips and on your knees, you can just bring your knees towards each other, coming into a neutral pose on your back. Beautiful. Tracking the breath with the sensations in the body, using the hands as reminders of the warmth, the connection, and the love that comes with each breath. Moment by moment, taking it along. Now, allow your hands to be of support for your legs to come back towards each other. And then allow your knees to come towards your chest, using your arms as a leverage and support for your knees to come towards the chest. I'm repeating myself. Full breaths here. Hold one of your knees with both of your hands and let the other leg move back towards the mat. So you have one knee fully bent and fully coming towards your chest, and one knee on the mat. One foot on the mat, one leg on the mat. Opposite forces here. Now bring that knee closer towards the armpit of that same side. So in this case, the right knee is coming towards the right armpit. The left leg is on the mat. Left foot is flexed. Wind relieving pose. Allowing this leg to not only get a really good stretch, but also to bring a gentle massage on the ascending and descending colon. Bringing hip mobility if you decide to move your leg from side to side. 2 full breaths here. And now shift your leg, so bringing the leg that is at the chest down towards the mat, and the leg that was on the mat towards the chest, finding wind relieving pose on this side. And explore the difference if you're bringing that knee closer towards the chest versus closer towards the armpits. Armpit, chest. Explore. Find what works for you today. The closer your knee comes towards your armpit, the more of a massage to the descending and ascending column you will get. Allow the breath to soften. And then allow the supine position to really be a signal for the body to begin to let go. The weight of the body to begin to let go into the mat. The body is heavy and is melting as we come and transition into Shavasana slowly with these supine movements. Release that leg back onto the mat. So you're coming into a Tadasana on a supine mode, so a Shavasana. For a couple of breaths before bringing both of your knees towards your chest again. Moving your hips slightly towards one side of the mat, so it doesn't matter which. And you're going to take both of your knees with the support of, actually it doesn't matter which side because of instructions. So bringing your tailbone towards the right side of the mat and using the support of the left hand to bring those knees towards the left side of your mat. Opening the chest wide towards the right side of the room, the right side of your mat. And finding a twist here in a supine position. Remember here when we were twisting in a Sukhasana, when the class had just begun, remember how it felt to breathe in deeply. So didn't matter how much or how far or how it looked, it was more of the quality of the breath. And finding that metaphor of a twisting moment in our life. There may be a very poignant one that you know of, in which you feel you're twisted, contracted, in which you feel somehow turned, churned, and allow breath to be that saving grace that ties awareness back into the experience. And gently allow that grace to bring the knees back onto the center of your chest. Beautiful. And finding neutral spine before twisting towards the opposite side. So now the knees will come towards the right side of the body, opening the chest towards the left side. And same principle here. Find your breath. Find your breath. Beautiful. Building a deep connection with your breath. One pointed focus. Allowing that breath to be a steady and concentrated anchor point for your experience. And gently releasing that twist, releasing the legs and allowing the legs to drop on each side of the mat. So coming into full Shavasana position here. And you can find a pose here. If you would like to come into a sort of inversion, you're more than welcome to do that. But we're also transitioning into Shavasana for the next 10 minutes. Building that same foundation in Shavasana of allowing the body to be really, really comfortable as it comes down onto the mat. If it feels comfortable to close your eyes, you can do that. Letting the breath guide you deeper and deeper. To the center of your being. Letting the breath guide you. Breath by breath, moment by moment, releasing into Shavasana. Letting go of the notion of right or wrong in terms of the asana practice or in terms of the breath, and just letting the breath guide you, bring you into center. Letting the breath be the gateway into relaxation and into your nervous system. Letting the breath guide you. I'm going to read a couple of verses from the collected works of Sri Ramana Maharshi. To know the self is but to be the self, for it is non-dual. In such knowledge, one abides as that. That is true knowledge which transcends both knowledge and ignorance. For in pure knowledge there is no object to be known. Having known one's nature, one abides as being with no beginning and no end, in unbroken consciousness and bliss. Abiding in this state of bliss beyond bondage and release is steadfastness in service of the Lord. All ego is gone, living as that alone is penance good for growth, sings Ramana, this self. To know the self is but to be the self, for it is non-dual. In such knowledge one abides as that. Having known one's nature, one abides as being with no beginning and no end, in unbroken consciousness and bliss. Chit Sat Chit Ananda, the truth of our nature. So let the breath guide you into that state of being that doesn't require any sort of adjustment, any sort of change or manipulation. It just is. And slowly begin to bring vitality into the organism. Letting awareness move the organism be moved by awareness. Bringing mobility to the fingertips, to the toes, allowing the breath to be recognized in the body. And turning the body sideways, coming into fetal position slowly, gently. Using the support of your hands to raise yourself up towards the sitting pose, finding Sukhasana again. And contemplating on this paradox of being as is, and yet allowing yourself to see the day ahead. Being open in awe to surprise and to the mystery and the blessings that life may bestow upon one. Being open to wonder and to the mystery, but also choosing again how to direct focus, how to direct attention. And use this moment as an anchor point to decide what's the tone of the rest of the day. Doesn't mean the world will have that tone, but what's my internal tone for the rest of the day? How do I want to abide? And which activities can best serve this state of being that I'm choosing to anchor in? And having made that choice, allowing both of your hands to come together towards your chest in Anjali Mudra. And you can bring heat in between the palms by rubbing them together. Generating warmth, allowing both hands to be on your chest. Feeling how centering love in practice is. Namah Shivaya, Om Shivoham, Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, all of you, for joining me on this practice today. It was really wonderful to have you all. And I'm going to say goodbye to Zoom. before I say goodbye to you. No, actually, say goodbye to you. I meant to say goodbye to Instagram. Gracias. Thank you, all of you, for joining. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I would like to make this more consistent, especially having this space at Nexus. So let's see if I can come up with some schedules and you decide to join. But it was wonderful to have you all, and I hope the practice is useful for the rest of your day. Namaste.